two first chapters that we need really quick before we jump into the third and fourth? No? No? You're good? Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
All right, so let's just jump right into the chapter number 3 in the book, not in the workbook, because there's discrepancy, as you know. And my favorite chapter, faith. Who likes the chapter? All right, cool. I'm assuming that we all read the chapter, right? Okay, cool. Anyone has something to say about it before we start? Anything that you like about this chapter?
No, nothing specific.
I think it shows the power of the brain and faith, and how, for those that are spiritual, we know about it, but it's to see how you can implement faith into virtually anything, whether it's health, whether it's prosperity, whether it's business, just keeping that positive attitude and that positive thinking, regardless of how things are going. Eventually your faith will lead you to the right place.
Right. So yes, that's absolutely correct. Faith a lot of times has a religious connotation, right? That people relate that with religion or some sort of religious thing. I have faith in God, I have faith in this, and then it's talked about faith a lot in the Bible and in all the religious books. But the reality is, faith is nothing just by believing in yourself, and believing in what you want. And what it does is, it does make your brain send certain waves to the universe that makes those things actually happen because you believe that's going to happen, right? So when you want something, when you set a goal or you say I'm going to do something, you just basically said, that's what I'm going to do. I don't know how. Remember, it doesn't matter how. I just know I'm going to do it, and you'll just sit there and watch how it happens, right? So that's faith. Faith when you have absolutely no doubt that's going to happen. If you have this much of a doubt, then it doesn't work, right?
But also that faith comes by hearing and repeating something over and over and over again, like affirmations daily.
Right.
It becomes your belief.
That's right. So for those that we need to practice our faith, right, that we need to reinforce that, she's absolutely right. And those are the exercises that the book teaches you how to create more faith. How can you teach yourself to create faith? And you do it by a number of exercises that are here. Affirmations, right now Tony Robbins is big on affirmations, he gets to repeat things and do things with your fingers when you're breathing, so then your brain is acting in a different way. So you can become stronger in your faith. And as you heard me, for those that have been here for 1, 2, 3, or many times, one of my favorite sayings is faith and fear can coexist, right? Why? Because if you're fearful about something, that means that you don't have faith, right? You cannot say, I know, talking about business, let's say, because we're in business, I know that I want to reach X amount, that's my goal for the end of the year, and you cannot be like, in September 14, today I'll be like, oh man, I'm kind of far, I don't know if I'm going to do it. Well, you won't. If you have a slight doubt that it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. And if you think that you're far, we know all in this business that all it takes one big house sometimes to bridge that gap. So, and perhaps that's the test, right? The test is that you feel you've done everything right, and then you get there and you're like, shit, I'm still this much far. But if you pass the test and you said, it doesn't matter because I can probably sell something like this and I'm going to get there, that's when it happens. That's when it gets activated, It's a test. It's a test for you to be like, start doubting, start becoming fearful, because we are all addicted to pain and we're all addicted to fear. And the reasons why we're addicted to pain and fear, is because the mind, right, is thousands of years old. And the way how we operated before is flight or fight, right? Back in the days, we basically what the mind does, because it's been used to do it for so long, is every time that you see that it's going to be fear, or you start feeling fear or pain or anything, you enter into a survival mode. And what do you do when you enter survival mode? You get scared, you protect yourself, you run, you do all those things. So the tricks to learn how to control that, you know, the tricks to not to get into those feelings. Because again, it's not about thinking positive, it's about feeling positive, right? It's not like it's going today and inside you're like, this sucks. It doesn't work that way, you know. You gotta feel positive, you gotta feel those feelings, and the best way to do it, and one of the easiest ways to get and enter into those feelings is by being, you know, what's the easiest way to enter into that vibration?
Gratitude.
Yes. Right. If you wake up every morning and you start being grateful and really feeling grateful, not just, oh, I'm grateful for this, no. Like, wake up and be grateful that you can move your feet, that you can breathe, that you're awake, that you feel the sun in your face, that you have a family, that you have a roof under, you know, like that you're gonna have a nice breakfast. If you start feeling all those feelings, but truly feeling it, there's no way that you can be fearful or bummed out or negative about anything. If you start your day like that every day, then you start to train yourself to live like that, because we all doing this is not just to, the course is gonna finish, I know what to do now, I'm done. No, this is, you need to habituate yourself of being and living like this, right? It becomes a lifestyle, that's how you react to situations, that's how you react to life, and that's how you conquer those tests that sometimes we get in our way to see if we actually are committed to or not, right?
That's why I like that. My favorite part is when it talks about fear being the only antidote to failure, because especially with what we do, how often things blow up or deals fall apart and you want to like, can't do, you know, it's quickly like, I always give myself like 2 seconds in a ball, and then like you just having faith that a lot of times it happens for a reason, and you see it like a couple months later, like why it probably shouldn't have worked out. So that's like my favorite thing, because I think you can't be living in failure at all.
Right. Sometimes when things happen, it's good to just take a minute, take a deep breath, go on a run, do something to get out of that state of frustration, pain, anger, all those, you know. I'm gonna try to find, I think, a page which shows you the pyramid of the feelings, from like the worst feeling that you can feel, it starts going up to where in the middle it starts getting better and how you should do it. And it's good to be conscious, I think, about where you are in those moments, right? Oh, I'm feeling this way, oh shit, I'm all the way down here, I need to get back up there, right? And what's the quickest way to go? Change your state, because you need to change your physiology of your body, and you can do that by, and that's why I go, exercise is a great thing, running, jump in the cold water in the ocean, something that really gets you out of that and physically, and then you start practicing the gratitude and this and that, and trust me that you won't be feeling those feelings again. So if you can print, and you remember I used to have that in my pocket, and every time I had these feelings, I would open it up and be like, oh, okay, I need to go 5 up. And you know, and then you start being conscious about like, you can feel this way, it's not the right way to feel, I need to get here, okay? All right, so let's go here. I mean, who wants to read this first paragraph? I mean, if you just read that, it explains a lot. Anyone? Anyone can read it out loud? Rowley.
Faith is the head chemist of the mind. When faith is blended with the vibration of thoughts, the conscious mind instantly picks up the vibration, translates it into the spiritual equivalent, and transmits it with intelligence, as in the case of prayer. The emotions of faith, love, and sex are the most powerful of all the major positive emotions. When the three are blended, they have the effect of coloring the vibration of thought in such a way that it instantly reaches the subconscious mind, where it is changed into its spiritual equivalent, only form that induces a response from infinite intelligence.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. I mean, that's so powerful. I mean, if you just read and read that over again, it basically explains it all, okay? Prayer is another word that is it's a religious, basically, word, right? You pray. So what is the pray? You go to temple, you go to church, you sit, you go on your knees, you pray. But the reality is that we are constantly praying, because praying is no other thing that voice inside you, oh, I wish this was like this, or I really want my team to win this game, or anything that you're thinking constantly that you want, you're really asking for. I mean, if you really start paying attention, we ask a lot of shit all the time. All the time. I mean, in a minute by minute basis, you are asking for stuff. I want this client to call me, I want my offer to get accepted, I want. There's nothing wrong with it, but let's make sure that we're clear of what our I wants are, right? Because a lot of times we send in the wrong message. It's like, oh, I really want this, and then, do you really want that? Is that what you want? Or you know, and you need to play on how you ask, you know? Someone told me many years ago, clear messages to the universe, because it's listening, right? And when we talk about universe, we're talking about God, we're talking about that bigger thing that we all, I think, most of us believe, I do. And for those that weren't here in the beginning, this is not religious related, I'm not trying to turn you into anything, it's not a cult, it's nothing like that, I'm just giving examples, okay? All right, so how to develop faith, like Ali was saying, there are many ways how you can develop faith. If you feel like, you know, sometimes it's hard for you to feel that faith, you know, I mean, a lot of times I use as an examples of the Bible, because obviously I was raised Catholic, and you know, you read about, you know, the miracles that Jesus did and this and that, and a lot of times he didn't even show up. He was like, if you have faith, it's already taken care of it, you know, if you really believe that something is going to be okay, you know, and those examples that I read, you kind of like connect to what this says, you know, it's like sometimes we're expecting something to happen for us to have that proof that it's going to happen, and it doesn't work that way. Sometimes you just need to believe that it's going to happen, and you just need to release. And it doesn't have to happen that moment, right? Sometimes it happens that moment, right? And that's going to be related to what you're asking and how really strong is your faith, right? So that make it happen quicker. But if there are things that sometimes take time to mature, and it's like a plant, a seed, right? You plant the seed, you need to water it, and you need to believe. And when you plant something and you put a seed, you're really trusting that's going to come out and it's going to turn into something, right? It's going to effortless come out and be a plant eventually. It's the same thing, but it takes time. You don't plant it and then you're eating an apple next day, right? It takes time to get there. So to develop your faith, there's great exercises like repetition and affirmations are great. So maybe you're like Mireya. Where's Mireya? Hi. She was saying some affirmations that she does in the morning that I actually do the same ones, and I think I got it from Tony Robbins. I'm not sure if you got those from Tony also.
I didn't hear from him, but I got it from someone else who has been to Tony.
Right, so, you know, the one that she's saying is like every day in every way I'm feeling healthier, happier, and wealthier. Is that right?
And stronger and fitter. I have.
Right, so I'm not add whatever. Right, and that's the best part. Just make it yours. Add something, you know, but start by having something that you can repeat a lot of times, and then you memorize it, and then when you're in your car, you can do that. You know, I mean, a lot of you guys know that I gave you as an example that I've sometimes been driving in my car, and I got a bad call, and I need to turn this around. I put a song that I like, or I start like screaming in the car my affirmations, right? And one day I pulled into a red light, and I'm like doing these things, and I turn around, there's this lady looking at me like, she's like, this guy lost his mind. She's trying to get in the other line, you know, she's like, fuck, I need to get away from this guy. But you need to do those things that get you there, because when you're doing that, even, I mean, for me, just to turn around and look at her face, it got me out of that bad state. You know, it's funny. So, so you gotta do all these little things, and you find what's best for you, you know? We all know like the same thing. Some things might be easier for you, some things might be easier for you. So let's practice, let's find out what our thing is. Yeah.
I think also, Santiago, when you have faith, you release control, because we all are control freaks, I believe, at least I am. You want to control your kids, you want to control the way certain things, and you can manage things. But when you release and you have faith, you don't spend all that energy controlling things you can't control, and you put your energy into the things that you can work on, right?
Yeah.
At least that works for me, going, I can't.
That's something that you always need to ask yourself. You know, sometimes we get frustrated and we're trying to make things that are not under our control. There are things that we can control, and there are things that we cannot. So, two things. One, you cannot be frustrated because your client is not signing a counter offer because you have no control over that. You did your part, you told him what you need to do, and then you release it. And if he doesn't sign, there's nothing you can do about it. You could physically go and put a gun in his head and tell him to sign, but that's not going to go well at the end, right? So that's basically what it is. And the second one is, don't let the external things that you don't have control over affect your internal peace. Okay? If someone is a jerk to you on the phone and calls you and yells and all these things, there's two options. First, you're gonna think it's like, fuck, what an asshole, right? But then what you do after that is what makes the difference, right? It's like, do you really want to feel those feelings? Do you want to give this guy the energy and the amount of time of thinking and keep thinking about how bad it was and what you're gonna do back to him and how you're gonna get him and all these things, and you're harvesting this bad shit inside you? Or you just gonna say, okay, that's his opinion, and then move on and think about something else? Don't let someone affect your interior peace, you know? And a lot of times it's hard, but you cannot let the external things affect your internal being, right?
Because if you release it, you have freedom.
Yes, and that's basically faith. And like it says in here, in connection with this, consider again the statement, all thoughts which have been emotionalized, mean given feeling, and mixed with faith, begin immediately to translate themselves into the physical equivalent or counterpart. Immediately. Because the emotions are what creates that energy that connects with everything, right? The subconscious mind will transmute into its physical equivalent by the most direct and practical media available. Any order which is given to it in a state of belief or faith, that order will be carried out. So again, that's basically just saying it doesn't matter how. The universe knows the fastest, easiest, less complicated, best way, the best timing, everything for you to get what you need to get, or for you to achieve that goal or whatever. So when you start trying to figure out, okay, I want this, but how is that going to happen? And you start trying to figure it out, you're going to get discouraged and you're going to get off track. So you just need to, for us, it's really easy. How do we get to our goal? Fucking sell houses, right? Let's go out there and hustle and sell houses. It's not rocket science, right? Now, how are you going to get to that next number? Because I'm assuming that every year we all set higher goals from the year before. Don't worry about too much the how, okay? Just believe and have the faith that that's going to happen, and then things are going to happen. And it's crazy. If you get a phone call, you meet this guy in the open house, just things get in your face that you're not seeing when you don't have faith, right? Like phone calls, conversations, you're in a restaurant. Something really cool happened to me on Sunday. And these things happen to me all the time, okay? On Sunday, Sunday. So Sunday I took my kids to the beach, and I stopped at Gelson's, my house, to pick up some food. So I pull in, and I get into the supermarket, and when I got to the cashiers, I forgot my wallet, but thank God there is Apple Pay, right? So I was like, great. So I pay with my phone, and there's this guy that obviously he looks European, with 2 kids and his wife. And he's like, oh, that's cool. How is that with any card or whatever? So I explained to him really quick, and then I leave. And as I'm getting in my car, one of the kids comes, and he's like, oh, I love your car, or whatever, starts talking to me, and the dad obviously comes to get the kid, and they're like about 10, 12 of my son's age. And the dad says, I'm not a huge fan of cars, but this car is really cool. My son knows exactly what it is. He's a car fanatic. And we start talking, and he's like, what do you do? And I'm like, well, I do real estate. What about you? Where you live? He's like, oh, I'm from, where was he? From Switzerland, and I lived in London, and I just moved here, and I'm actually looking for a house. Do you have a car? Right? I'm not lying. I swear. It happened on Sunday.
What's your budget?
So we have to get.
I just get my card, and he said, I want to be in this area, whatever, I'll give you a call as soon as you need. So if you are not in alignment, that happens to me all the time. Like for those that spend a long time with me, or those that know me for a long time, it happens whatever. I can be in the grocery store, or I can be in an airplane. we went to Mexico for an event. Mauricio had this house that we went to help him and an event in Cabo. And in the airplane also, coming back, I sat next to a guy and he wants to buy a condo in the Edition, and his dad is looking to buy something in Carreyes, and then he, explained to me what Punta Mita is and what's happening in there, and then next year we're going to the Mandarina for his dad, his uncle, and they end up being really wealthy real estate family from San Francisco, and we're going to see the Mandarina thing, and they might buy 1, 2, or 3 houses. So it's just being open that things are going to happen and having faith, and don't worry too much on how the structure works, right? All right, so okay, I'm going to read this again. It's the same thing, but I just want to be clear about this. Thoughts which are mixed with any of the feelings of emotions constitute a magnetic, and I want to make a, I circle this word. It's literally like a magnet. It's a magnetic force which attracts other similar related thoughts, people, situations, everything that is related to what is that you're feeling or you want, it gets attracted, okay? All right, let's go to the next. Okay, this is cool. All right. You should all do this, the self-confidence formula. It's a 5-step formula that works really well. I need 5 people that each can read one of those. Who wants to read the first one? I'll do it. What page? All right, you do the second one.
What page is that on?
52. What book you have?
52 in your edition.
52? 52. Self-confidence formula first.
I know that I have the ability to achieve the object of my definitive purpose in life. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent, continuous action towards its attainment. And I here and now promise to take such action.
Sounds simple, right? The execution is... I'm actually surprised that this is second class and we still, right? We were talking with Brendan the last time when the class finished, because he's been here pretty much all the courses, and it starts with 40 people, the second week goes literally down to 20, the third week is like 15, and at the end it's like 7 of us sitting right here. And that's what moved to my office. So I'm actually very happy and surprised to see that pretty much we have the same amount of people that we had the first time. This is cool. I'm very, very happy and grateful for that. All right, so let's make sure that we read that again, write it down, and like you need to read this stuff over and over until it gets, imprinted in your brain. Margaret, second.
I realize the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. Therefore, I will concentrate my thoughts for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person I intend to become, thereby creating in my mind a clear mental picture of that person.
All right, so we're talking about 30 minutes daily. If you don't have, like Tony says, if you don't have 30 minutes for yourself or something that is going to change your life, get a life, right? I mean, we're talking about 30 minutes. I can guarantee that all of us, including myself, spend more than 30 minutes in social media combined. For sure, right? Raise your hand who spends more than 30 minutes in social media. Okay, so you can take 30 minutes for this that I think is way more important, right? And it will take time for you to get used to, and at the beginning it's hard because we think about so many things, and that's why the things on this book help you to kind of keep you, bring you down, and spend those 30 minutes and make it worth it, okay? All right, number 3, the third one. Who wants to read the third one? All right.
I know through the principle of auto-suggestion, any desire that I persistently hold in my mind will eventually seek expression through some practical means of attaining the object back of it. Therefore, I will devote 10 minutes daily to demanding of myself the development of self-confidence.
Self-confidence is so important in our business. If clients don't see that you're confident about yourself, about your business, about your market, you're not getting that listing, you're not selling anything, right? And how you get self-confidence, this is a way how to develop self-confidence. Knowing your market, getting out of the book a little bit, is a way to develop self-confidence. You should know every single house that is selling, every dollar per square that is happening in your area, every pocket listing that is selling. You need to know everything. You need to know your shit. And when you know your shit, you're confident, right? Because you know. So when you sit and you're talking to someone, you know all the stuff, you're confident. So you exude that energy again of confidence. And how do you think you feel when you go to a doctor or a dentist? That's my dentist over there actually. He hired TXC to do all his marketing and social media and a whole big campaign. He's amazing. He's on the 5th floor down here. And if you go to a dentist that's not confident, and it's like, yeah, maybe I can fix it this way. I'll be like, time out, you know? Like, I don't want you to touch my mouth, you know? But if you go to a guy, I mean, if you talk to this guy for 2 minutes, and you see the confidence that he has and exactly that he's gonna take care of you, I don't know, do whatever you trust, right? And you gotta get to that point. You don't wanna, one of the most annoying things about this business is because there's so many people that don't do it right, that people don't really trust their agents, right?
Yeah.
How great would be that your clients tell you, you're the guy, you tell me what should I do? How much should I write for? What, you tell me what to do because you are the expert. Tell me, as opposed to, I sold 10 houses in my life, I know how to do this, let me take care of this. How many times we heard from clients that they think that they sold more houses than you? Right? So it's all about confidence, it's all about presenting yourself. When you present yourself that way, people are like, oh, this guy knows his shit, you do whatever you need to do, just get me the freaking house. Right? Okay, who wants to read number 4? I thought I saw you wanted to read it.
I have clearly written down a description of my definite chief aim in life. I will never stop trying until I have developed sufficient self-confidence in its attainment.
Great. I will never stop. That's the trick. I'm not giving up. When you have that attitude that I'm not giving up, what in the universe is, like, this guy's not giving up, just give to him. Right? Here. That's how it works. Monique.
I fully realize that no wealth or position can long endure unless built upon truth and justice. Therefore, I will engage in no transaction that does not benefit all whom it affects. I will succeed by attracting to myself the forces I wish to use and the cooperation of other people. I will induce others to serve me because of my willingness to serve others. I will eliminate hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, and cynicism by developing love for all humanity, because I know that a negative attitude towards others can never bring me success. I will cause others to believe in me because I believe in them and in myself. I will sign my name to this formula, commit it to memory, and repeat it out loud once a day, with full faith that I will gradually influence my thoughts and actions so that I will become a self-reliant and successful person. I need to read that every day.
Yeah, you need to. Everybody needs to. All right. I think we covered most of it. I mean, the other ones are examples, you know, talks about, I mean, a number of people from Lincoln to, you know, the basis of Christianity was developed by, you know, I mean, all these examples and evidence that what the power of faith is, right? So we're not going to cover this because we need to jump to the next chapter, but if you read this portion, it talks about how Abraham Lincoln had a tremendous faith, and after so many failures, I mean, like, everybody looks at the success of a person, but nobody really digs in and like how many times they failed to get there. I mean, name it, right? You name everybody that has achieved something big in life. They failed probably 20x the amount of times, you know, and that's what persistence comes in and all that kind of stuff. So I'll let you guys read and finish the last part of that, which you shouldn't actually read it again. And now we're going to go to chapter number 4, which is very short and is very attached to this one, which is the auto-suggestion, you know? And this is when it comes into more practical things to do, you know? The other ones are like more like getting into like the spiritual and feelings and all that, but auto-suggestion is something that is very practical. It's real and it's something that is easy to do. You just need to suggest yourself and do it and do it and do it until it becomes a habit, and then you believe and you feel it, right? So, and what auto-suggestion does is like really literally communicates with it. How many times you've been during the day and something happened quick, and then, I don't know, like maybe you were in a supermarket and you saw a guy that had long orange hair, right? And you saw him and you just saw and it kind of captured your attention, and then you went on your day, and then you go at night and you have a dream about that orange hair, or a car, or a situation. Sometimes you don't need to be like thinking about something so strong to have a dream about it, and then the next day you're like, why did I dream about that? It was just something that I saw for a second. Is because somehow that thing got imprinted in your subconscious mind, and when you went to sleep, your subconscious mind kicked in. So the trick with auto-suggestion is to force your subconscious mind to think and to feel the things that you want to feel, so that when you go to sleep and you release, and your subconscious mind wakes up and starts working, which is the one that communicates directly with God, then it's happening with the things that you want, because you are suggesting yourself that that's what you want, right? So, you know, in the first chapter, when we talk about the burning desire, right? Did you all already write down your burning desire? Do you all have it? Do you all know? I'm not going to ask you to read it, don't worry about it. I know sometimes it's very personal. But, I mean, you should have your burning desire right now memorized. You should know what your burning desire in life is, right? And 2, you should have also the thing that we have in the workbook, that we all write down, like what you want and what you're going to give in exchange for what you're doing, because everything is an exchange, right? It's not getting something for nothing. It has to flow always. So a lot of times when people want to give me something for free or something, or you did this, let me give this, or whatever, I always like to do something in exchange, because it feels like if you get something and you give something, you keep that loop going and it's not cut off in one place, right? So if you go back to the 6 steps described in chapter 2 and read them again very carefully before you proceed further, then read very carefully the 4 instructions for the organization of your mastermind group. This is our mastermind group. We are, and the reason why I wanted all to have a person to talk is because they'll help you keep in track. And it's accountability, right? It's like just continue to talk about it, as opposed to you come here today, it's fresh, you're pumped up, you leave, the weekend comes, and you forget about it, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, you are not really, then you got a call, and you got pissed off, and this, and then you're completely out of track, as opposed to you're talking to this person, and you say, hey, this happened to me, I'm a little frustrated, and hopefully that other person is in a good place and says, no, remember this and do this. Just start talking about it so it becomes something that is, you know, a constant thing, right? All right. Who has any questions regarding this so far? No? How to strengthen your powers of concentration. That was one of the things that I struggled the most, and I sometimes still concentrating, because I'm ADD, ADHD, OCD, and all of the abbreviations of those things, right? So I'm thinking normally, we all think about 1,000 thoughts every moment. We're just not conscious about every thought that we're thinking, but you know, that's constantly happening. And you need to learn how to quiet that and just direct it into ones that you want to be thinking and feeling about it, right? So here explains how to do that, right? Who wants to read that that whole thing. It's not a lot really, it's one page. Who has a loud voice that can read this and doesn't have an accent like me? Just kidding. All right. It says how to strengthen your powers of concentration.
Hey, sorry.
I don't know what book you have.
21st century.
Is that the one you have?
Yeah, but it's different from yours, and I don't know, I can't find it either.
It's 72.
The 72?
Yeah,
So the chapter is auto-suggestion, and it should be the second subtitle on that. It says how to strengthen your powers of concentration. It's not there? All right, I'll read it. I'll read it. All right. When you begin to carry out the instructions in connection with 6 steps described in the second chapter, it will be necessary for you to make use of the principle of concentration. Meaning, don't do it while you're watching a game or your soap opera or whatever you do. Let us here offer suggestions for the effective use of concentration. When you begin to carry out the first of 6 steps, which instructs you to fix your own mind the exact amount of money you desire. The reason why we're writing down what we want is so you can look at it. And when you're doing this in the beginning until you memorize it, read it, but read it out loud. Don't just look at it and whatever, like take it seriously. Read it out loud, and that's what you want. And by reading it out loud, you're hearing it, so you are concentrating on it, okay? Hold your thoughts on that amount of money by concentration or fixation of attention. With your eyes closed until you can actually see the physical appearance of that money. And then again, this book was written in late 1800s, okay? So now the numbers are bigger. So if you want to picture yourself how $2 million look like, in what? In gold, in $100 bills, and $1 bills, it's a little bit more complicated. So what I do, and I adjust this a little bit to where it makes more sense today, is instead of fixating yourself, know the amount of money, but what's important is what are the feelings? How are you gonna feel when you get that? It's more important than kind of picturing how big is this ship that I'm gonna be able to hold all this money that I want, right? So know about the amount, but then what are the feelings that gives you? Feelings of what? What do you feel if you get there? Feelings of freedom, of financial security, whatever it is that you feel, how you're gonna feel at that moment, that's what you need to get focused on, okay? Do this at least once each day. As you go through these exercises, follow the instructions given in the chapter on faith, which we just did, and see yourself actually in possession of this money. The book's called Think and Grow Rich, and we do talk about money, but it can be applied to anything. Health, happiness, whatever it is that your personal self needs the most or desires, you apply that to it, okay? It's not just about money. I don't believe that money is happiness for everything, but we're in business and we're talking about how we're going to increase our sales, and we're doing this mainly to help you with your business and get you where you need to be to do better, but at the same time doing this for a deeper, and I hope that you guys find it to be helpful for your personal life too, right? So again, it's a book wrote in the 1800s where everything that talks about is he, because it was a different world where everything was mainly for men. So don't pay attention to that, and don't pay attention that it's only talking about money, because it can be applied for everything, okay? So when you do that once a day, here's the most significant fact. The subconscious mind takes any orders given in a spirit of absolute faith. So your subconscious is not going to pick up on that unless you believe that's actually going to happen. And acts upon those orders. Although the orders often have to be presented over and over again through repetition before they are interpreted by the subconscious mind. So you need to repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat. That's why it's auto-suggestion until the subconscious mind gets it. Following the preceding statement, consider the possibility of playing a perfectly legitimate trick on your subconscious mind by making it believe, because you believe it, that you must have the amount of money you're visualizing, that this money is already awaiting your claim, that the subconscious mind must hand over to you practical plans for acquiring the money which is yours. It's happened already, okay? The fact that you don't have it, we talked about this last week, right? If you're not holding it right now, it's fine, you have it. It's coming. Don't wait until you're holding it to believe that you have it. It's coming, trust that it's coming. Hand over the thought suggested in the preceding paragraph to your imagination. This one becomes fun. And see what your imagination can or will do to create practical plans for accumulation of money through the transmutation of your desires. Do not wait for a definite plan through which you intend to exchange services or merchandise in return for the money you are visualizing, but begin at once to see yourself in possession of the money, demanding and expecting meanwhile that your subconscious mind will hand over the plan or plans that you need. Be on the alert for these plans, and when they appear, put them into action immediately. When the plans appear, they will probably flash into your mind through the sixth sense, which is a chapter in this book that we're going to look at later. In the form of an inspiration, treat it with respect and act upon it as soon as you receive it. In the fourth of the 6 steps, you were instructed to create a definite plan for carrying out your desire and begin at once to put this plan into action. You should follow these instructions in the manner described in the preceding paragraph. Do not trust to your reason when creating your plan for accumulating money through the transmutation of desire. Pause. We talk about reason, right? Be unreasonable. Think about something that it doesn't have to make sense 100%, right? When what are the last names, guys? The brothers that invented the airplanes. What are the last names?
The Wright brothers.
Right. So when they presented their plan first, people thought they were fucking nuts. They were like, "This is unreasonable." Okay. Who would thought that you can put hundreds of people in a metal cylinder and fly them across the world? No one, right? But they know they could do it, and they were unreasonable in their thinking. Therefore, something got created out of nothing that now is the safest, fastest way to travel the world, right? So your reasoning faculty might be lazy, and it can be due to the way how you've been educated, the way you've been living your lives for a long time, and it's just by the nature of how the mind has been operating for many, many years. You're not going to change it in one snap. And if you depend entirely upon to serve you, it might disappoint you. Talking about the reasoning. So, when visualizing the money you intend to accumulate with closed eyes, see yourself rendering the service or delivering the merchandise you intend to give in return for this money that is so important, right? You're giving the keys and the remote controls to that brand new $30 million house that you just sold to your client. How does it feel? How does it feel giving the keys with a bottle of champagne, whatever? Just, that's when it gets exciting. Do whatever gets you going. And practice in there, stay in there, right? All right. And then there's another 6 steps, I think, in here. Yep. On how to, I don't know if you guys have this or not in your books, but it talks about the 6 steps to stimulate your subconscious mind, in addition to the auto-suggestion. Right? I don't want to go very quick about it because it's getting time, and I want to have some Q&A time. You gotta go in a quiet spot, preferably not bed. Here it says preferably in bed. It doesn't work for me. I don't know for you guys, but if I go in a quiet, if I go if I go lie in my bed, I'm asleep within 20 seconds I'm out. I don't care what's going on, okay? So I normally like to sit in a quiet place, close my eyes while I'm sitting, so I'm not falling asleep. Okay, and then do every single thing that we talk about it, you know. You read your statement, all your goals and everything, the amount of money and what you're gonna give in exchange, out loud. Not out loud when you're gonna wake up everybody else, but when you can hear yourself saying it is more important. Second, let's repeat this program 9 in the morning. We talk about why it's important to do it first thing in the morning and last thing at night. First thing, because it's going to put you in that state of starting the day in the right way. Instead of waking up and rolling into your phone to the first email that's going to put you in a bad mood, wake up, don't look at your phone, and do this first. And I can guarantee you that even if you get an undesirable email, you're going to take it with a different attitude. Okay? Third place. Third place, I really copy your statement where you can see it all the time. Every morning, every time. So you write it down. I used to have it next to my computer at my desk, not here in my old office. And I used to have it there, I will see it. Have it in the office in your house, whatever you spend time that you sit down and you're gonna look at it and you're gonna be forced to read it. Again, you don't have to do all this. These are examples of things that you can do to help you being always looking and reading and doing it. Another great thing is the vision boards, which we're going to cover in a different chapter. Number 4. That's interesting. All right. I guess there are only those 3. I think we through this. I'm going to read this statement and then I'm going to open it up for questions. Every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. You should look for that and don't get stuck in what happened. Look for what's going to happen. And in a different book that we were talking also last week, which is the science of getting the science of getting rich. It talks about certain principles, and one of them is the contrast. For every bad thing, always a good thing comes with it, right? And these laws that are in that book can be interpreted in a good way or bad, because you can say, oh, for every good thing happens, so I need to start looking for the bad things that happen to me. No. The trick is to use the laws in your favor, not against you, okay? So that's with these 2 chapters. Anyone has questions? Anyone wants to share something about it or talk about something? Yeah.
I guess for me so far, one of the things I've struggled with is focusing too much on the how instead of just having the belief, the faith. I guess my question to you is, when you first started, when you first read the book, what was kind of your biggest obstacle to just having faith and belief, not focusing on the how so much?
I think that we all, probably for all of us, the struggle is the how, because we live on a reality, right? So we are used to living that way. If I need to get from Palaces to my office, I need to take Sunset or this or that, right? You just live your way in that structure where you know to get something, you need to do something. But what this is doing is that taking you out of that to get you to have faith and trust that all the things can be accomplished without knowing exactly how. And the how is the biggest distraction there is. So if you can find a way, and using the tools that are here to drop the how, focus on what you want, and go with your day doing what you do, don't analyze it, because you might be doing every day, you might be waking up and you're showing that house, you're showing that house, you're showing that house, and you start thinking the how, maybe those 3 houses in added value on commission dollars are not going to add up to what you want, okay? But those are not the houses that are going to get you to your goal. It's this house over here, you're not even thinking about it, you don't know about it, and you're about to get that phone call from that person, but by thinking on the how, you get distracted and you're not open to that is actually what's going to give it to you. So the day that you have the faith that something's going to happen, and you are happy to show the 3 small houses that they'll make you money, it won't be to your goal, but you're just doing it happy, trusting that something else is gonna come, that's when it's gonna happen. Right?
I like to live my toe. So with the how is there's two things happening. We live in a physical world, and we judge everything by physical actions. And to your point about the car, I'm sure you know the teachings of Abraham. When they say, when you get in your car, you never question your destination. You know you're going to the office. Maybe there will be traffic, maybe you'll take a different route, but you don't question where you're going to end up. You just know that you're going to get there. And maybe there's a roadblock and you don't take time, it's not saying, you take, whatever. So back to how, the action is, we get stuck in this physical world of action, but the action, faith, is the eternal elixir on page 49, which gives life, power, and action to the impulse of thought. So we get stuck in a physical world of action and how many. The action is to have the faith, is to focus the faith, which you could call prayer, because what is that? You're focusing your faith, and you're believing in the higher, and that's the action. That's taking the action, and that manifests itself in its physical experiences as you continue to focus on that, I think.
Thank you. 100%. You're right, 100%, and thank you for dipping your toe.
Oh, my pleasure. I might just jump in next time.
And Andy's my partner, so he can tell me that every week.
There you go. So you need to imprint like that on it.
Yes.
All right. Anyone else? Yeah.
My favorite one is do not wait for a definite plan, because most of the mentors I've had or I've adopted, and I listen to another guy named Danny Morel, who does great food, does all these motivation things. They always ask him how he goes, hey man, it's a term in Spanish, just hágalo de una, just do it. You know what I mean? Just go and do it.
Yeah.
If you overthink it, nothing's gonna happen. Maybe in the office, planning it, just go and sell. Just hustle.
Yeah.
At least for the beginning.
Yeah, 100%. So you need to have a plan, you need to have a goal, you need to have a number, you need to have a business plan to know that things are gonna happen, but don't get stuck in there. Just get out there and make shit happen. You need to move that energy, you need to be out there working, you need to be out meeting people. That's what we do. That's our business. It's a great business. I mean, it's amazing, I think.
Aunque la murga no se mueve muy rápido.
No, pero sí va.
But just, what is it, tunnel vision? Just
Yeah, we get it. Who else? Are we good?
One of my favorite things that sticks to my mind that you always say, because I always used to say, okay, Santiago, I'm going to take baby steps. And Santiago would always go, fuck baby steps, massive action. And that's what you have to do. Baby steps, that's something that's programmed in my head since I was a little girl. Take the steps, take baby steps. But, those are baby steps. If you want massive action, you have to take massive action.
Yeah, most of us have been programmed those things, You gotta do little by little, you gotta do this, money doesn't grow on trees, this doesn't work like that, la la la. Forget about that. It's get out there and think big, get uncomfortable, be unreasonable. Like these brothers that created airplanes, right? All right, anyone else? You're good? I see that a lot of you are probably busy, so I'll let you guys go. Thank you. See you next Friday.